Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Vampire the Requiem Louisville, which is a necessary spin off of Vampire the Requiem New York City. Um, I'm here tonight with one of my players, Robin. Melody wasn't. We got a bit of a late start, and Melody wasn't feeling up to it. So, I guess the werewolves will stay on hold for a while.
I think we've got enough going on as it is without adding werewolves to it right now, anyway.
They're in this cave tapping their watches, going, "We were supposed to do this months ago." But, but as Robin said, there's enough going on for her to do a whole show about right now. So I'll throw it over to Robin and let her tell you who her character is and what she does and what.
Hi, I'm Robin. I am playing Dee Dee. She is a vampire of the Invictus Covenant and David Clan, and she has a YouTube cooking show that she runs.
Yeah. Last episode went pretty well. We'll see if that keeps up. See how your fan base does. So, last episode ended with Dee Dee and what's your roommate's name? Marcie?
Marcie.
Yeah. I cannot get pictures of Charlie Brown out of my head because of that. Uh, so, but you two had just come home from having a rather enlightening conversation with your Invictus rep. And Dee Dee opened the door, and you two stood in the doorway, and you saw this message scrawled on the opposite wall. We know who you are, and we don't want you here. And that's how last episode ended. And that's where we're going to pick up tonight. So, the two of you are standing in the doorway looking at that. What do you do?
Well, first thing we ought to do is make sure no one's still here. You know, I think that's kind of the first order of things is to make sure we're actually alone in the house.
The door was locked, but somebody could have locked it from the inside and been waiting for you.
Well, it was locked when we left, so they had to have come in some other way.
Yeah, true.
So I guess tell Marcy to check downstairs, and I'll go upstairs and look around.
Uh, yeah. I'm gonna grab my sheet here and uh, roll for Marcy. There we go. Okay. I need a intelligence and investigation roll.
Yeah. That is one success.
And now I'll roll for Marcie here. See if she does any better. um. mm, ooh, okay. So, uh, she had one success. It was a 10, so I re-rolled the 10, and it was a 1. So,
Oh. That's not how that whole re-rolling the 10 thing is supposed to go.
not generally. So, she did, in the end, she did not botch, but she didn't have any successes either. So, as far as she's concerned, the place is clear, or at least the upstairs is, anyway.
The downstairs. I went upstairs.
Okay. The downstairs is fine. Surprisingly, none of your recording equipment was messed with.
That's good.
Um, you had one success. There's nobody here, but you did find a scrap of black fabric, like somebody's long sleeve shirt got torn, got snagged on something.
There any windows open? Any place that looks like they could have come in from?
Uh, actually, when you went upstairs, is that where your bedroom is?
Hmm.
You went into your bedroom, and uh, the window across the room from your bed does look like it's been open. Um, from what you can tell, what they had to do was open your window, climb in, do what they were gonna do. Then they went out the same way, but they didn't close the window all the way.
So on the second story here, they either had to have a ladder or they had to fly. One of the two.
Either that or was there a decent sized tree nearby or
Not right up against the house, no.
uh, they either had a ladder or rope or had help.
Right, or they could have used our ladder, which is leaning up against the house. They probably used
Uh,
that.
yeah. Well, if somebody was gonna do this, chances are this wasn't a hey, I'm bored, let's go do this thing.
Right.
So they more than likely have been watching you for a bit.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snap a picture of the window with my phone. I'm gonna go downstairs, take a picture of that message, and then I'm gonna call Jarvis and mention to him what all has been going on.
Okay. So you take pictures and you call Jarvis. Jarvis is like, hello?
Hey, Jarvis, this is Dee Dee. We just actually talked. We were just.
Yeah.
You said to give you a call if we needed help with anything.
Yeah. What could you need help with so fast after?
Well, unfortunately, Marcy and I got home and there was a threatening message written in hopefully paint on our living room wall. And it looks like someone broke into our house from the upstairs window. I can shoot you over some pics I took if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And so I'll send those to him.
Right. There's a slight pause as he's getting the pictures. Uh, yeah, this does now look friendly.
Now, I don't know how you can help. I don't know if it's another vampire or what it is, but
Well, see, the reason we would want to know something like that is that if somebody did find out about you and Marcie who wasn't kindred, that could cause a whole other batch of problems.
well, yeah, especially if it's one of those damn vampire hunters.
Well, yeah, I don't know what I would not like worse, stupid humans or actual vampire hunters. Uh,
I mean, it even could be another vampire, I guess, but I don't know.
eh, another vampire wouldn't really have anything to fuss with you about.
Yeah, unless they were afraid we were going to hunt on their turf or something.
Unless they tried a recipe and weren't happy or something like that. But
Well, I don't think a vampire would be happy with any of my
right,
recipes.
yeah,
It's human food. I can't even eat it.
eh, well, maybe one of your silly vampire viewers made the recipe and actually tried to eat it, and now they're pissed at you.
Well, I can't exactly state at the beginning of my show that, humans only, because that would kind of blow
Right,
my
yeah.
cover.
Plus, it's sort of Vampire 101. Yeah.
We all had to learn the hard way, I think, with
Yeah.
that one.
Well, but uh, I can. What were you guys planning to do tonight?
Well, Marcy said something about us going hunting tonight.
Um, that might not be a bad idea because if you guys are out, we can. I can have a cleanup team come in to your place while you're out and clean that wall and get samples and yeah, make sure everything's secure and such. I'm gonna have the one of the guys on the cleanup team put locks on all your windows.
Oh, that would be nice.
So, this kind of stunt doesn't happen again.
Right, and it'd be good to get that wall cleaned up. I don't wanna live with that threatening message there.
Right.
Well, I mean, we don't live anyway, but you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, you don't want to have to put up with looking at that.
Right.
Be much nicer if you could look at the guy that wrote it
Pinned to the
for
wall.
yeah. Now that I'd be all right with looking at. Uh, well, maybe you can make it a dual purpose evening. You can go hunting and maybe ask some questions. Find out if anything weird's been going on in the neighborhood, in your neighborhood recently. You know, could have been a whacked out, drugged out, who knows what, but
Right, and in this, community here, a lot of these old biddies have nothing to do but, sit around trying to be a neighborhood watch, so
right. If anybody saw something, it's probably one of them.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Um, I was just thinking you might alert the people at the corner store, but it's gonna be hard to tell them, yeah, why. 'Cause,
Well, I'd have to say it was a threatening message, then wouldn't have to say what it said.
you know, you can just say that somebody broke into your apartment.
Right, and their
Then,
vandalism, that's all I have to mention, the place was vandalized.
yeah, that way they can help watch out for anything going on. This is a retirement community, basically.
I
Uh,
wouldn't think you wouldn't think this is the kind of place stuff like that would happen, honestly.
right. So it's not gonna be one of these 70-year-old guys, climbing in a second story window just to do that.
Unless it
No.
is. Who knows? I mean, I'm hoping not, but you never know. Somebody off his meds.
Possibly. Or Marcie's been having parties you don't know about. You might want to check that. But yeah, I'll let you go and you guys have fun hunting and see if you can come up with any information. Eh, when I get off the phone with you, I'll call the cleanup crew and shouldn't take more than an hour, hour and a half.
All right, well, thanks for that.
Sure. And definitely let me know if any other strange things like that keep happening.
Oh, I will, thank you.
Yeah. And with that, he hangs up the phone. So, do you tell Marcie what he said, or
Yeah, of course.
she is visibly upset by this whole thing? She's been a vampire much longer than you have, and she's dealt with idiotic morons that scroll messages like the ones on your wall. And so she is uh, visibly shaken and is actually just standing there staring at the wall with a message on it. And when you come up and tell her what your rep said, she's like, I didn't even think anybody knew about us.
Well, I didn't either. I mean, we tried to be careful.
You know, you work on YouTube, so you know, you're not out running around making yourself known all over the place except for your grocery runs you have to do.
Right. And I mean, AA meetings, but don't think any of them know we're vampires.
Well, somebody obviously does, and we didn't know that.
Right.
Um, some of your AA people can be a bit unstable, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, hopefully I didn't, flash enough bangs on YouTube or anything by accident.
If your channel ever gets shut down, we'll know why. So, she pauses a second and goes, you know, if you're still up to going hunting tonight, Lexington is only like 30 miles away. We could get out of Louisville altogether.
Well, that would work.
Mm. So, well, you don't really need much. Um, she goes in and grabs a couple of towels out of the bathroom. Yeah, these might come in handy. Um, what are you currently wearing outfit-wise?
Just a t-shirt, pair of jeans, light jacket, like a windbreaker.
She's like, you might want, if you've got a black version of that, you might want to go switch.
I got a black hoodie. I can put that on.
We want as much camouflage as it were as possible. So, no bright colors and such. So, fact, if you want hunting to be a regular or at least semi-regular activity, going out and buying a proper outfit for it might not be a bad thing. But so she's like, I'm gonna go change. If you want to do that, I'll meet you in the living room afterward. And
All
we can
right.
head out. We can head out the door. And she goes into her bedroom. About 15 minutes later, she walks out. Basically, the same outfit you'd wear if you went to a club. It's a black leather jacket, black tank top, uh, black leather pants, and a pair of boots. It's like, but you get her into complete darkness, you're not gonna be able to see her. So, do you change your clothes at all, or do you just
Yeah.
uh, throw your black hoodie on, and
I'll put on a pair of black jeans and throw
uh,
the hoodie on.
okay. So the two of you meet the living room a few minutes later. Like, looks like we got everything. Marcie's like, do we leave the door unlocked for the cleaning crew, or how do we?
I don't know. Let me text Jarvis and ask him that.
You text Jarvis. A couple minutes later, he's like, um, actually, we're on our way. We should be there in about 10. Uh, if you could hang out till we leave, we can talk to you and get a sense of what happened, and you won't have to worry about the door because we'll lock it when we leave.
All right.
But so, as he said, about 10 minutes later, uh, this black van shows up with a red symbol on the side of it. It's the symbol for Invictus, but unless you know that, it just looks like a cool paint job on the side of a black van. So Jarvis jumps out once the van stops. How are you two doing?
Well, would have been better if we hadn't come home to this.
Yeah. I'm sure. Um, would you mind showing it to me?
Of course. So I open up the door and lead them into the living room.
Yep. Mm, stupid human. Humans did this.
Well, figured there was a pretty good chance that was who it was. I mean, humans.
Vampires wouldn't do that. Even, even if there was a vampire sect that wanted you gone, they'd use different means to do it.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't just stick at threatening us. They'd probably do something worse, I would think.
Yeah. Plus, it rarely happens because to officially assassinate another vampire, you have to get the prince's okay.
Oh, I'm sure there's rogue vampires that don't go through the proper channels, aren't there?
Well, yeah, but now something just popped into my head. Um, there have been rumors of increasing werewolf activity.
Really? I haven't heard that.
Well,
Werewolves?
I hear things that you necessarily hear.
Well, I guess, but that doesn't sound like a good thing to me. Werewolves running around.
No, not generally. They're just slightly smarter than humans. Uh, Not much, though. Take a husky over a werewolf any day. So, because it could be that too, but I don't. You would have had to upset one of them.
Oh, as far as I know, I don't even know any to have upset. So,
So, that's probably not it then. We're back to human.
right.
That means some stupid human found out either what you or Marcie are. Yeah. So now you've scared them so far past what they can handle that they're scrawling messages on your wall. They they might as well scroll. Please don't hurt me. would have
Right.
been would have been more likely.
Well, doing this kind of shit's a good way to get yourself hurt.
Well, yeah, it's same thing. It's like because now we're gonna have to find them, and then we're gonna have to eliminate them, and it's gonna be
Well,
a.
if I find them before you do, can I drain them? What's the protocol on that?
It, it was your house they broke into, and they threatened if you can find them and verify that it was them, you're welcome to. And if you do, make sure they're dead. Don't turn them into vampires. Just
No,
make,
no, I meant drain them, drain them.
yeah, just make sure they're dead. You said the window in your room upstairs was open, and that's likely how they managed to come in.
Oh, looks like it. I mean, the front door was locked and everything, so
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's probably what they did.
yeah. Be the easiest way to get in without somebody else noticing them trying to go through your front door. outside of a retirement community, there's always somebody watching.
Right.
It's like, who needs your cell phone? You've got Aunt Betty. She's recording everything.
Now I'm kind of I just thought of this, and I'm kind of hoping it's not, the family of some of the old folks that live around here. Like if they have kids or grandkids or something that came to visit, I hope they didn't figure out we were vampires and come back. Because that could cause a whole lot of shit in the community.
Yeah. We gotta find this quick because we don't know who did it. And we don't know what they know or who they know or who they're working for. That could be a possibility too.
Now, if I knew who, your friend we were talking to, the one that's going on this mission, I forgot his name, but he mentioned that there are other vampires in our community. So I'm wondering, I kind of wish I knew some of them where I could ask if they'd had any problems.
Well, we have, you know, as you know, there are, what, 5 clans, 5 different clans.
Right.
We have some of all of them here in Louisville. You're free to talk to any of them. I would say that a couple of them would be harder than others to get hold of. You know,
Well,
what?
I don't know who any of them are anyway.
Oh, I can give you the names of the heads of each clan if you want them. Uh, by order of the prince, we all have to stay in contact with each other. Uh, Now, Nosferatu and Gangrel are going to be a bit difficult to get a hold of. But, you know, the others, the David clan and who am I missing? The Maquette. Well, the Maquette might be a little iffy too, because they are spy types. Now, there's a thought.
Get some of them helping us out? Yeah.
Hire a couple of those to just sort of do surveillance on your house and see if these idiots show back up again. But he pulls out his phone and types a text, and about a minute later, your text goes off. And it has a list of names with the corresponding clan and actual phone number and address. And he does another text real quick and sends it. What I just did was I text each clan leader with your name, your phone number, and a brief text about what happened and what's going on, because I don't think this is going to be an isolated incident. because unless it's somebody who is personally after you, you're not the main target here.
Well, I'm hoping we're not. I mean, as much as it would be annoying to have this going around vampires and all, I hope they're not after us. We didn't do anything to anybody.
Well, the thing is, it'd be better if it was a personal thing against you, because if that was the case, we could just find them and get rid of them, and the whole thing would be over.
Well, I'm thinking actually, if they keep doing shit like this, they're gonna get careless and they're gonna get caught because obviously they're idiots.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if outing you is, the first part of their plan, where they're gonna attempt to go after vampires in general, that's gonna be a whole lot more difficult to deal with than somebody who just didn't like one of your recipes and decided to tell you about it.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I think if they're putting them, the more they're putting themselves out there, the easier it is going to be to catch them. Is what I'm thinking. But
Yeah, but what's their plan?
well, hopefully we can get a hold of them and ask them that.
Like, do they not like vampires, or do they not like YouTube chefs? You have to find out the difference here.
Well, either way, if I get my hands on them, they're going to answer a few questions, and then I'm not going to be hungry anymore. So,
Well, yeah, true. So,
I mean, if they're after vampires because they're afraid of them, I'm gonna give them reason to be.
I just had an interesting thought. For your Halloween show, you could do a vampire recipe, and the vampire community would enjoy it, and all the humans would be like, "Oh, it's Halloween."
Right? Yeah, humans probably wouldn't even think it was real blood. They'd be.
Yeah, you you put a disclaimer at the beginning. Please make this with cherry jello.
Right.
Yeah. See, that way you could sort of connect to your vampire community. Actually, uh, Marcie pipes in. It take recording a few more episodes a week, but you could start a second channel devoted to vampires instead of humans.
I could. Not sure how I'd advertise it and get it out there without other people seeing it.
Yeah, true. It wa- it advertising wise, it almost have to be word of mouth, or yeah. There are places vampires congregate in the city, and you could find those. And
Well, that's true. I mean, I don't want a bunch of vampire wannabes.
oh, too bad. That just cuts out your goth teenage crowd.
Right, like I don't want them thinking.
At least they get to try both dishes and decide which one they like.
Well, there you
If
go.
if they watch both channels, they, one dish is made with cherry jello, and the other dish little stronger than that. Yeah, but with that, he's like, uh, we can probably handle it from here. Uh, you guys want to take off? Uh, he's about halfway through that sentence, and Marcie's already in the car. She's like, we're out of here. Um, remind me what kind of car you guys have.
Well, I have a pickup truck,
Oh,
and
yeah.
forget what you said Marcie had.
She's got a sports car.
Uh,
Um, in fact, and the exact opposite to your other vampire roommate who had the Tesla. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Marcie's got a Porsche.
mm.
So she's like, you want to take the Porsche or the pickup truck?
Let's ride in style. We'll take the Porsche.
Mm. Hmm. Then we'll go hunting up on in the nice area of town this evening. We can go more off road in your pickup truck, but we can find some rich, snotty uh, kid that thinks they know too much and help the world out a bit.
I'm sure there's more than one of those around.
Oh, yeah. Um, so you guys get in the Porsche and drive uptown. Seems to be a impromptu music festival going on in Cherokee Park. Uh, you didn't hear anything about it. Uh, none of your YouTube people mentioned it, so. But you drive past Cherokee Park and there's like 50 people. And about 10, 15 of them have instruments, and just sort of a non-advertised get-together. But it's odd because this is one of the upper neighborhoods in Louisville, so you wouldn't think a impromptu music festival in the park would happen in this neighborhood. And the people in the park look like average people. They don't, you know, if they have money, they're not, yeah, there's not people in fancy clothes or jewelry or any of that. Uh, But also, strangely enough, you don't see a cop to save your life. There's no security whatsoever, which is another thing that tells you that this wasn't planned because the cops haven't even had time to respond to it. Much, you know. So, what do you and Marcie do?
Well, you said there's only like what 50 people around.
Yeah. Well, at least in that park, in that festival, there, people driving down the streets like normal.
Yeah, that don't. I mean, that doesn't seem like enough people to be able to do anything without being too conspicuous. I think we either need to be in a bigger crowd or to find someone wandering around by themselves. One of the two. I don't think being in a crowd of this number of people is exactly uh, going to help us out in our needs.
Okay. So you guys keep driving. Um, the problem with Cherokee Park, which is the name of a park there and also the name of an upscale neighborhood. The problem with Cherokee Park is even the alleys are kept, so you don't see homeless people wandering around in the alleys because they're homeless people just don't come up here. They've been quite, shall we say, politely but forcibly uh, informed that there are better places for them to be
Well,
than here.
if there's a bar or something, we can find a few drunk people, convince them to, you know, come out and take a little walk, get some fresh air.
Well, yeah, there are bars and clubs in Cherokee Park. Um, but most of them, strangely enough, are country music bars.
Oh, well, there is that. But hey, I'm hungry enough to deal with that.
There is one bar slash, I guess you'd call it a bar and grill. Uh, 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 that you liked here when you were a human. Uh, it's a little simple place. It's called Louisville BBQ. And you like the barbecue from back when you were human. You haven't been in here since. Um, you don't come up to the nice neighborhood since you've been turned into a vampire. So, but you see the blue and green alternating neon sign that says Louisville Barbecue. And it actually looks fairly busy tonight. The parking lot is looking kind of full. So you want to stop in there? You want to keep going to somewhere else?
Yeah, we'll stop in there, see if we can convince anyone to come for a stroll.
Well, you walk in the door. It looks just like you remembered. A long bar against one wall, tables everywhere, straw on the floor, stage in the back, and strains from a country music jukebox playing louder than necessary. The only redeeming quality is it's not the new country that sounds more like pop. It's old school country that, you know, from what, 60 years ago? And that's exactly what the guy behind the bar looks like. White hair, uh, down to about mid shoulder, loose mustache beard. Uh, he sees the two of you walk in and goes, "Hey, welcome to Louisville Barbecue. I'm Louie. How's it
Hi,
go? How's it going?
it's going pretty good.
What can I do for you ladies this evening?"
I just wanted to stop in. I used to, kind of haunt this place. I haven't had a drink for 20 years. So I just wanted to see if it was still here and, some
No,
nostalgia.
we're still kicking. We still serve the best barbecue in Louisville.
Yeah, that was pretty damn good.
So what kept you away for 20 years?
Well, like I said, I quit drinking
Mm,
for one thing.
well, yeah. You could have still kept having barbecue though, but no.
Yeah, well, that's her fault. She made me go vegetarian.
Mm,
Yeah.
vegetarian and no drinking.
Yeah.
And I thought being homeless was hard. Uh,
I've been trying to talk some sense. I'm still trying to talk some sense into her.
maybe that's why the two of you look a shade pale.
Very well could be.
Mm,
Lacking that iron.
eh, eh. I don't understand what makes people turn vegetarian. Cow will kill you as easy as look at you. Ain't no way I'd be vegetarian. Plus, I'd have to give up barbecue. There's no way that's happening.
Yeah, that was tough. Gotta admit. Well, it looks like I'm pretty busy tonight.
Yeah, got a good crowd for middle of the week. Uh, so do you guys look at the menu, or how do you end up pulling this off because you can't eat real food, but you have to hang around long enough see if you can get what you're after.
Well, I'll ask where the bathroom is, and on my way back there, I'll kind of keep an eye out for anyone who looks like they've been drinking a lot.
Well, he shows you where the bathroom is, and there is a line to the ladies' room. There's like half a dozen women standing there when you walk up. And I'm gonna roll to see if any of them happen to be what level of sober any of them happen to be. Uh, okay. There is one. She's like second in line, so 4 people in front of you. This girl's, you know, redhead, uh, pale skin, freckles, looks like if she's old enough to drink, she's barely old enough to drink. And well, in fact, maybe this could be your first time you're thinking, and she might have had one too many already. Considering this is the first time she's ever done this. So she seriously needs to go to the bathroom, but you can also tell that she's not sober. In fact, she's annoying the woman in front of her by sort of leaning on her to stay vertical. When this woman heads into the bathroom door, this other girl's just gonna fall on her face. It's bad. So what do you do when you see this?
Well, I'm gonna wait till she goes in the bathroom and then comes back out.
Okay. So you're standing there 10, 15 minutes. Um, Marcie comes walking up behind you and like, so what's going on?
I got my eyes on one.
Oh, okay. And when Marcie walks up, you're like next in line to go to the bathroom. When the bathroom door opens and this girl walks out, and she, if put it this way, imagine Ron Howard from Happy Days. Now imagine the female version of that. And that's what you're looking at. Except much cuter. Yeah, freckles, the whole 9 yards. So she she's basically leaning on the wall to get anywhere.
So I'm gonna ask him and go up. I'm gonna like, hey girl, you okay?
She looks at you and goes, "This is my 21st birthday."
Ah, I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all been there. Tell you what, you need some fresh air, girl. Yeah, you're going to pass right on out here. You need to come outside and take a little walk round. Lean on me if you want.
She's like, she thinks for a second. I'm gonna roll to see what she does. Now, question. Are you and Marcie going after separate victims
I assume
or
so.
okay, just wondering. I didn't know if the two of you were gonna drain strawberry shortcake together here. uh,
Now this one's mine.
okay.
Well, shit, man. She looks just like I imagine Marcy looked in her life. So,
Well, yeah, she looks a bit older now and she has glasses and such like that. So, how do you play this? Do you like get all yeah flirty or do you get all motherly or how do you play this?
oh, I go for the concerns, the concerns. I've been there, man. You're gonna be okay, but yeah, we just need to get you outside, it's kind of hot in here, and get you some fresh air, sit down for a while, it'll be all right.
She puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, "You know what? I am feeling kind of nauseous all of a sudden.
I'm not
May
surprised. How much have you had to drink anyway?
oh I don't know. I haven't been keeping track."
Been there.
And fresh air does sound like a good idea. And at this point, Marcie walks up to you and whispers in your ear. She's like, "Going after me again, are you?"
Well, and I'm thinking to myself, gotta be able to do it somehow. But I don't say that to her. Like, I do have a type.
And that's the next thing that pops into your head, which is you can't do anything. You can't necessarily do what you were thinking of doing. And this girl looks a whole lot like Marcy did maybe 10, 20 years ago. So it's like that thought goes through your head too. It's like, maybe completely draining her might not be the best idea. And interestingly enough, the age difference between you and this girl now is about the age difference human wise, but I'm talking that the difference would have been when Marcie first found you. So it seems a little familiar. So she's like, yeah, I'll go outside and get some air. Um, Thanks for your help. And she staggers toward the door.
I'll go kind of wrap my arm around her shoulder and kind of help her along. I just need some help there.
Uh, she's 21. She's incredibly smashed, and she's wearing high heels that she shouldn't be wearing tonight. It's amazing she hasn't hit the ground already. So the two of you head for the door. Marcie's sort of slowly taking up the rear, making sure that nobody's like going, what in the world's going on over there, you know? In fact, as the two of you actually make the door, you turn back to see where Marcie is, and you see this guy that could definitely play linebacker for the Louisville college football team. And he's halfway to the door, and Marcie's standing between him and you. And the girl turns her head and goes, oh, yeah, I need to tell Robert I'm going to head outside for a bit.
All right.
And so she walks back in, staggers back in, passes um, Marcie, ends up sort of slumping in Robert's arms and goes, I'm going to go outside and get some air for a little bit. I should be all right. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll be back. No. Go have more beer and more wings with your friends. I'll be back. And he's like, okay. And he stands her up straight and then goes back and sits down with his friends, and she heads back over to the door where you're at. Okay, that's taken care of.
All right.
So in a couple minutes, you and the girl, we'll call her Sarah, for since we need a name for her. You and Sarah and Marcie head outside. There are tables outside for people who want to eat. So the three of you could sit at a table or a bench or whatever. So, but the three of you get outside. And what's your plan from here?
Well, I'll tell Marcy, hey, I'm just gonna sit out here with Sarah for a while. You can go in and get yourself a drink if you want.
Uh, she comes. She comes up and uh, gives you a little kiss on the cheek and says, "Don't have too much fun." Uh, in fact, then she goes, "In fact, the boyfriend looked pretty interesting back there."
Ah, he's a vegan.
Well, he's also, by the time she's gonna get to him, he's gonna be drunker than Sarah. So it's like, all she's got to do is, quote, accidentally trip him. He falls on his face and it's done, pretty much. So,
So are these tables like relatively secluded? Is there a bunch of people sitting at them, or are we the only ones out here? It is kind of chilly.
there's one or two people outside. But that's about it. You could easily walk around the other side of the building. You're out there to take a walk and get her fresh
Right.
air anyway. So, well, there becomes a question though. You weren't originally intending on keeping Sarah. She was just going to be the evening meal.
Right.
Uh, Given the change in your uh, love life plans, uh, are you considering keeping Sarah, or is she still just the evening meal?
No, man, she's too young for me, so she's just gonna be an evening meal.
Oh, looking for somebody a bit older, are we?
I was 40 when I was turned.
Yeah, well. Mm,
And, don't really want an immature vampire running around. 21's pretty pretty emotionally raw,
plus, she would have a bit of difficulty considering you live in basically a retirement community.
Yeah.
Although anybody you decide to keep is going to have a bit of a problem with that because you live in a, 55 and over neighborhood. It's like what? So, and oh, by the way, human year wise, you are not that old.
Right.
If you were human, you wouldn't be allowed in this neighborhood. The way you got into this neighborhood was Marcie.
Right. I said it was 40 when I turned, so yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that Marcie put you on the lease for the house is what got you into the neighborhood. And initially you thought it was because you guys were gonna end up being something, and now you realize that she's actual family. she,
Right.
she was doing that because you're family.
I might eventually find someone to keep, but
Mm. Well, not like you going anywhere anytime soon.
right.
So the two of you walk around to the other side of the building, ostensibly the back of the building. There is a small grove of trees, uh, just maybe 5-10 feet from the back wall of the building. Like the trees were here and then they built the building. And
Mhm.
so, so the two of you walk around the back of the building near these trees. Tell me what happens.
Well, I'm assuming there's some grass around where the trees are.
Yeah.
So we'll go over there and sit down. And I'll tell Sarah, hey, if you need to put your head on my shoulder and go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I am kind of nauseous. Don't think large quantities of beer and large quantities of barbecue really go together very well. Co- Contrary to all the advertisements, where you got barbecue, you gotta have beer. No. Maybe it's a marketing ploy. They figure if you drink enough beer, you won't care how bad the barbecue is. Yeah. Not that it was bad, but I definitely don't want any more. Um, and she does kind of slump her head against your shoulder. Much nicer out here.
Yeah.
No stupid jukebox and she actually, well, let me see here. She actually sort of loosely puts her arms around you and her head slumped on your shoulder. You're getting the feeling that if this doesn't happen relatively soon, she's probably going to pass out on your shoulder.
So I kind of brush her hair back aside from her neck. Away from her neck and then chomp.
And initially, you hear this little scream and she tenses up. But after a minute or two, you feel her entire body just go limp. And you periodically looking up to make sure nobody's watching. In fact, give me a wits and intelligence roll to make sure nobody is watching.
Okay. Oh, wow. That was 4 successes and 2 of them are 10s. Okay, so a total of 4 successes.
You get through the whole process of draining this girl, and nobody sees anything. So, when you think you've taken about all the blood from her that you can take, what do?
Well, drag her into that little grove of trees. This is a necessity. This is something I've done when I hunt. Take my little knife out of my purse. I got a little blade. Slash her throat, cover up the bite marks, make it look like she was attacked.
Yeah. And there's just enough blood left in her that when you cut her throat, it makes a decent enough mess that it looks real.
And, to make it even more convincing, I'll hack up her skirt, pull down her underwear, make it look like she was,
Okay.
you know. Above game, I'm assuming vampires don't leave fingerprints.
No.
Didn't think so.
So, okay, you do all that. Do you head back into the bar after that to see what Marcie's up to?
Yeah. Gonna, make sure I don't have anything on my face first.
Yeah.
That would be a little,
Yeah. um, but you're able to clean your face off because, oddly enough, you have makeup removing pads in your purse because all women do. So, or wet wipes or something like that. So you're able to clean yourself off. And you walk back into the barbecue joint. And Marcie has started up a conversation with this guy, the boyfriend. And they're not sitting with his friends anymore. They're sitting at their own table, their own booth slightly away from the table where he started out at. And they're chatting away, and every time a waitress walks by, she orders him another beer, and by this time he's had like 12. And um, she sees you and tells him that she needs to go to the bathroom. And he's like, you know what? Wouldn't be a bad idea after 12 beers. Uh, so they both get up to head to the restroom. The men's is on one side and the women's is on the completely other side of the building. How they managed to come up with this, I don't know. Um, and Marcie walks up to you and goes, well, how'd it go?
It went perfectly.
Well, so do you tell her how you staged it all and
Yeah.
where the
Unfortunately, after I, you know, left the poor girl on her own, I think something might happen to her.
cause Chica Marcie has a thought. Marcie's like, if I take the boyfriend out, we can stage it. If you set it up to look like somebody attacked her, we can stage it where the person who attacked her was the boyfriend, and it just went badly for both of them because they were both incredibly drunk and they killed each other.
What could she have done to him after he slashed her throat? No.
Well, maybe she took him out, or he took her out first. Or, well, like, they got in an argument, he tried to rape her, and they both pulled out knives, and
Yeah. Or we could set them up together and make it look like someone else attacked them both.
yeah. The only problem is he's linebacker size. Somebody's gonna.
Well, yeah, there's that. Kind of
Oh,
hard to slit each other's throats, though.
and Marcie goes, I just came up with a brilliant idea. It's going to cause fuss and chaos, but
What's wrong with that?
um, as we were talking earlier, there's rumors of werewolves in the city.
That's what we've been told. Make it look like a werewolf attack.
Few more claw marks. You know, that would explain why this linebacker size guy gets ragdolled and, you know,
Yeah.
in
Hell,
fact,
we could take out the whole damn birthday party and make it look like a werewolf attack.
yeah,
How many of them are there?
Let me. What, besides him, there's 5 more.
We could do it. Make it look like a birthday party gone bad. A bunch of werewolves or something attack the whole lot of them.
They all head outside, and then
Right, make it look like they had themselves an orgy or something and the werewolves attacked in the middle. Hell, that would be kind of fun.
well, they all head outside looking for her because she never comes back inside, and then they find her, but that's when the werewolves find them.
Right.
You know.
Hell, sounds good to me. And shit, man, if they're all as drunk as these two, we're gonna get ourselves a nice buzz.
Well, don't know that we want to drink quite that much. 5 people are. That's a bit of liquid. Vampires are not, unending.
Well, I could take a couple more of them anyway.
You could always drain them into something and keep it for later. Yeah. Yeah. And at this point, the boyfriend returns. She's like, I got it. Go ask the bartender for the largest to-go cup they've got. Grab a couple of those, and we'll just fill them up.
All right.
Then we can drive around town sipping our to-go cups, and nobody will ever know the difference till the news report of werewolves in the morning.
Right. Oh, it's food time. That's what you're squeaking about. Okay. Hang
Yeah,
on.
it is 10 o'clock.
Yes. Here's the what? Oh yeah. Dinner. Are you
Yeah,
hungry? Okay,
sorry.
okay.
They forgot to tell you they're out of food. You're screwed.
Here. Chase, come here. Let's
Sean,
let's let's show everybody what I'm gonna be feeding. This is Chase.
uh,
He's
yeah.
begging me for food.
Uh, yep, so we're gonna take a 20-minute break so she can do that. I can have a drink of my soda so my voice doesn't die, and yeah, so
Okay.
so we will be back in 20 minutes or so.
Yep.
Mm. Okay. Welcome back to uh, Vampire the Requiem Louisville. Before the break, you and your roommate just, uh, well, you at least had some fun outside of a Louisville barbecue. And your roommate Marcie is planning to have the same kind of fun with the girls' boyfriend. And the two of you had just decided that since there are werewolf rumors floating around, you might as well make this look like an all-out werewolf attack. Uh, because eventually a couple of the others at the table are like, Sarah, we haven't seen Sarah in a while. What's up with that? It's her birthday, Uh, we should go see if we can try and find her. So the five of them, including the boyfriend, start heading for the door to go look for Sarah. They look around the parking lot. They don't see Sarah. A couple of them go behind the building where the grove of trees are. But it's dark now and they're too drunk to see anything. So what do you and Marcie decide to do?
Well, I'm gonna drain one more of these kids, one way or the other.
Well, are you gonna... There's five of them and two of you.
Right. But now
How are
I'm
you
gonna I'm
planning
gonna
to play
take
this?
I'm gonna take one more of them. Well, what I was planning on doing is finding one of them that didn't, seem to be kind of the odd man out. Like he wasn't, the others weren't talking to him much or something. And I was gonna kind of turn the flirt on and see if I could get him to come with me.
Well, you can do that.
See if one of them is maybe being ragged on by the others or doesn't seem to be having as good a time, and I'll target him.
Well, you know that your roommate's gonna attempt to take out the boyfriend.
Right.
So there's two other guys and two other girls, because there were originally three couples when this started. One of the guys, uh, he's been feeling kind of uncomfortable all night because it's one of these things where one of Sarah's friends needed a date
Mm.
for the birthday party, and this guy got roped. This guy was like, "Well, free beer, free food," But as per usual, when you get three women in a space together, they will automatically start talking to each other and ignore
Right.
everybody else. Yeah. And that's what's happening to this guy. Um, the other guy and the girl have been a couple for quite a while, and when they're not eating, they're hanging on each other's. But this guy has been, you know, he's at this time of night, he's starting to wonder if the beer and the barbecue was worth the bother, as it were. Uh, so but he's just drunk enough that he's not sure if he cares. you know. Um, so he's searching around looking for Sarah, and the other couple are sort of kind of looking for Sarah. They're more hanging on each other than.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and your roommate has the boyfriend, yeah, her arms wrapped around his shoulder, and he's really starting to get worried about Sarah because nobody's seen her in over an hour, and she was just going to the bathroom. So,
Mm-hmm.
so he's really starting to worry because he's like, "What am I gonna tell her parents?" And yeah, so that's the situation currently. What do you do?
I guess I'll wait till this other guy's kind of wandered off by himself a little bit looking for Sarah, and I'll walk over to him and, hey, how you doing?
Mm, pretty good, I guess. Turned into a weird night.
How's that?
Well, I could be home playing video games and having a whole lot more fun.
You're not feeling it with your girl then?
Eh.
Uh,
Ellie just needed a date for this thing and wouldn't stop bugging me, so I said yes.
let's see. Well, looks like she got herself a catch at least.
Well, thank you, but and the barbecue's good and the beer's all right, but I don't really do groups of people.
No, no, I'll get you there. Definitely get you there. Here, looks like your friends here have got this, search party covered. You want to come back in and have another beer with me?
He's going to do a perception check, see if he can decide what you're up to or not. Nope, no success. No success is there, so he's like, ah, why not? Sarah's got to be around here somewhere.
Well, if she's the girl I think you're talking about, she looked pretty drunk. So, she probably just wandered off somewhere and passed out, would be my guess.
That could be. She wouldn't have left without, you know, the Incredible Hulk over there, so, head cheerleader, head cheerleader dates, you know, QB.
Right, of course. That's how high school works, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, it's obviously been a while since I've been in high
Well,
school, but I know what all that's about.
high school, college, same thing.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
yeah, you would be in college, I guess. You look so
Yeah.
young.
And Sarah, you look at her, Sarah looked like she was 17. She was 21, but she looked like she's 17. Yeah, you don't age until later in college when you do the heavy drugs. then everything goes to hell. So, yeah, he followed you back in. He's like, I'm sure they'll all be back in a minute.
Oh, yeah, probably with Sarah.
Not gonna. There's like 4 half-empty mugs of beer on the table. It's like, they're not gonna let those go to waste.
No, probably not, right?
Um, so do you sit down at a table with this guy or what?
I will go up to the bar.
Two of you hop on bar stools. Lou comes over. What can I do you for?
We get a couple of beers over here.
Couple minutes later, he slides a couple of beers down the bar. You can't drink. Straight up alcohol, you can't do it.
I'll pretend to.
Well, yeah, I'm just warning you. I'm like, you're going to have to find some way to play this because you can't drink now without throwing up all over everywhere.
I'll just pretend to.
He takes a couple sips off the beer and goes, "What? Why are you even here?"
Is that a philosophical question, or do you mean here in the bar?
I mean, here in the bar, you are, you're pretty, but you're considerably older, so I wouldn't see you fitting into this group. So,
Well, no, but truth is, I kind of like them young.
mm,
How do
mm.
you feel about older women? Nice and experienced older women.
Well, like I said, you're pretty. Um, I won't say you're quite my mom's age because you look a little bit younger than that, but you're definitely older than the rest of this group.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're at a 21st birthday party. I'm definitely
Yeah.
older than y'all.
So, mm, I I don't have an issue with older women as long as you don't start acting like my mother. I'm good.
Well, I wasn't planning on it. Unless you want me to bend you over my knee and spank you.
Nah,
I was,
she never did that anyway.
I was kidding. But I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
You ever made out in a Porsche?
Mm, I can't say I actually have. No.
Well, roommate drove me over here in one. We could sneak out there.
It's sitting quite prominently in the parking lot. It's you know surrounded by pickup trucks and SUVs and a Hummer or two, and then you have that. So I wouldn't be averse to that.
Well, finish up your beer there, and then we can slip out the car.
And within a couple minutes, the beer's gone, and you can tell he's getting pretty close to the line where he won't be conscious soon. If you're planning on doing anything that needs him to be awake, now might be a good choice.
So, well, the less awake, the better for what I've got planned. So
Well,
I'll take him by the hand and say, "Come on."
uh, so I know what the ultimate outcome is going to be. Are are you going to actually make out with this guy, or is that just a plot to get him out of the car?
Oh no, we'll do some heavy petting and necking, necking.
You know,
It's a little hard to do a whole lot in a Porsche, you know.
eh, been there, done that. But
I'm not that much of a contortionist.
that's what reclining bucket seats are for. But and the 930, this particular model has a retractable sunroof, or in your case, moonroof. Yeah. So, fact, that's what they're called now is moonroofs instead of sunroofs, which I never knew what really made the difference. But
Yeah, I don't know either.
uh, so the two of you climb in the car. Uh, you make a few adjustments. You turn on the car. Uh, you get to hear how nice the engine noise is, which he likes. Um, you adjust the moonroof. You adjust the reclining bucket seats, and you turn on the radio. You get to take it from there. What do you do to this guy?
Oh, I'll let him make the first move and see where we go from there. I
Well,
mean, he's a guy, they like that.
as drunk as this guy is, uh, the two of you, the bucket seats are close enough that the two of you can easily reach each other. And, he tries to be smooth, but he's drunk. And, you know, he, he actually takes your hand and starts kissing his way up your arm. Yeah. He's trying to act like he knows a little bit of something. And he gets to your neck and stops there and playfully bites your neck. Does it just enough that it stings slightly and then continues his way up until he actually kisses you. And how hot and heavy does it get at that point?
I'll kind of tease him a little, stick
Yeah,
my tongue in his mouth, and do the whole rubbing the tongue up there, across the the upper
yeah,
palate type of thing, and
yeah.
no.
He's loving the whole thing, but he's also at a state that even if what's going to happen didn't happen, there's a large chance he wouldn't remember it by morning anyway. So,
I'll I'll kind of bite his lower lip a little bit, not enough so that he can feel how sharp my teeth are, just a little
yeah,
nibble, and
yeah.
see how he reacts to that.
He doesn't pull away. His mindset is, given that you have more experience than he is, unless something really hurts or it's something he really doesn't like, he's pretty much he, he's pretty much going to let you do almost anything.
So I'm gonna put my arms around him and kind of pull him in as close as I can with the seats the way they are, and you know, hold him pretty tight.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna just go for it.
And when you actually bite him, he winces, but then his entire body goes limp. And he pretty much sounds like that.
Thanks for the sound effects, Chase.
Right. So, but when you're done, you realize that you have a bit of a problem on your hands. You're sitting in the middle of a fairly full parking lot with a dead guy in the seat next to you. How are you going to manage that?
Actually, not so difficult.
Okay.
I I'm going to open the door and pull him out, put my arm around him, and kind of drag him along like he's passed out on me. I'm gonna, be pretending to help him walk, and I'll drape his arm over my shoulder and let his head loll on me, and kind of drag him along over to the little staging area there. And then I'll make it look like a bad werewolf movie.
By this time, your Marcie has also added the boyfriend. So there's
Oh, I know Daddy's here. You want to go out there and see him? Okay.
there's now a pile of 3 bodies in this grove of trees that you're filling up here. Eventually, there will be enough bodies that you'll be able to see it from the parking lot. So, you guys had also better have a getaway strategy just in case it becomes necessary.
Well, we could just leave it at these three, do our thing, what we're gonna do with the whole werewolf scenario, and then bounce.
Yeah. You and your roommate are both more than full, so you could just, like I said earlier, add some claw marks and
Right. I guess that's what we'll do.
because deer claws would do just as much damage as a werewolf's claws would. Teeth aren't quite up to what a werewolf would be, but you can leave enough claw marks that it definitely doesn't look like a vampire would do this. Unless they pissed off a gangrel or two, and then you're almost dealing with the same thing. Um, so you guys do that. You hop in the Porsche and leave at that point.
Yeah.
As you're driving down the street away from the barbecue place, um, you see 4 police cars and a ambulance speed past you with their lights on and their sirens on. And they're headed toward the barbecue place. Apparently, by now, somebody has seen what happened and has called the police and, you know, ambulances and all that. And so, are you guys headed home or where are you headed?
Well, it's probably pretty close to sunup by this time, isn't it?
Yeah, you've had quite an eventful evening, to say the least. Um, so you guys head home, and there's a note on your door saying the cleaning team has done a thorough cleaning of your house, and the message is gone, and any fingerprints or anything we've taken and then cleaned up. So your house is as clean as it was before this occurred.
Well,
Uh,
that's good.
if we need to, once we look at the evidence we've collected, if we need to get a hold of you, we need to talk to you, we'll get a hold of you. Mm, that's then he signed the note. Basically it.
I guess we'll go on in then.
You go on in, and I honestly, it's cleaner than you left it. It's cleaner than the two of you left it by far. Um, fact, it looks like what they did was they scrubbed as much of the message off as they could, and then they put a entire new coat of paint on that wall,
Mm.
so you can't tell anything was ever there. So, consider you and your roommate are about as sloshed as a vampire can get. Uh,
Well, yeah, and it's been a while too. Been 20 years since we done this, so yeah, I was feeling it a little.
yeah, because everybody you guys attacked tonight were 3 sheets to the wind, so there's enough alcohol in their systems to float a battleship, and you had 2 of them, so it's like, eh. When you get inside the apartment and actually like plop down on the couch, that's when the amount of alcohol you've had actually hits, because the the adrenaline adrenaline level drops because the hunt is over and you're back home and all this. So that drops. Then the alcohol hits. And you thought you were drunk before. Luckily, you're sitting on your own sofa. So,
Oh, hey, Mars, does this count as a relapse? I think I'm kind of hammered.
she looks at you and goes, "Yep, definitely counts. Considering we made the positive choice to go there and do that, it definitely counts." So, she turns to you and goes, "So, what was this thing with Sarah?"
What do you mean? She was dinner.
Yeah, it just felt kind of odd, though.
Why?
Yeah, because 20 years ago when I found you, Sarah could have been my daughter.
Well, I might have noticed the physical similarities, yeah.
Yeah. So,
She looked like an easy target, though. That's all.
well, she was the drunkest of the bunch. You have a thing for redheads? Or...
I might. A little bit, yeah. Guess so. We all have our types, don't we?
Yeah, mine is as long as they're breathing.
Oh, well, you yourself aren't, though. So,
Well, yeah, but attacking other dead animals doesn't do anything for me. In fact, my favorite part of the whole thing isn't exactly the feeding.
what is it then?
It's the 5 or 10 minutes right before that
Hmm.
when the person knows that something's just not right. And
Well, I don't think either of the two I attacked tonight even had a clue.
well, no, they weren't in this reality.
I mean, which makes it easier.
Yeah,
But, I mean, when you're supposed to be sober, it kind of does screw things up a little, doesn't it?
yeah. And
Hey, Mars, vampires don't get hangovers, do they?
not sure about that one.
I'm gonna assume we don't.
You'll find out. Uh, I don't know. The whole fear thing is kind of interesting. The poor, the poor little creatures stare at you, going, "You're not actually going to do that, are you?" And
I guess I'm just not that intimidating, but
it's because you haven't practiced yet.
the part I like about the whole thing is the acting. You know, you get them to trust you and you make up a story they're gonna
Um,
eat up. That's all kind of fun.
well, see, you've got the story you're talking about, and then what I'm talking about is right at the end of the story when they realize
Right,
that it's not quite gonna go the way they thought it was.
right.
Hmm. Humans are silly. That's why they're a food source.
So you think what we did tonight's gonna rile up the werewolves? You think they're gonna like freak out about being falsely accused and shit?
Mm,
I mean, not that
depends.
I care, that I care about them little puppies, but
Uh, you don't want to get in a fight with one of them on your own. That's for sure. Uh,
yeah, the best
depends.
just to avoid them.
Depends on how real the rumors are about whether there's vampire or whether there's werewolves in town or not. I can tell you one thing: the coroner's in for an interesting evening. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Um, which are gonna make these. This is the richer part of town. There's gonna be questions and investigations and all that.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not every day they find three exsanguinated bodies lying around behind the bar.
No, which is one of the, which is the big reason for the questions and the investigation.
Also, you have to kind of wonder how much, if they, even if there are werewolf rumors, you have to wonder how much the humans have heard about those. I mean,
And that's a question.
I mean, there might be a few people who, maybe a few humans even started these werewolf rumors. Who knows?
No, we're about to find out because there are going to be a lot of people poking into things.
Oh, and I'm sure wouldn't surprise me much if Jarvis gets in on the whole investigation thing too.
Oh, yeah, he'll do that just to make sure that things go the way it's necessary. Um, but he knew we were going out hunting anyway. So, and it's not like, no, before the funerals for the 3 people, the bodies disappear. Jarvis sends in the cleanup crew.
I don't think
None,
they'd be want. Don't think they'd be wanting open caskets anyway.
no. I think with the condition of those 3, I vote for cremation.
Right, and the sad part is, from what I understand, the local college is out a star quarterback and a head cheerleader now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bitch for the coach, but backup's gotta show up, I guess. I don't know. Not really. Kentucky college football fans. um,
I don't know who the other guy was, if he was on the team or what, but
no, probably not. Like he was telling you, his friend bugged him into going on a date with her.
well, that's true. And he did mention video games, so
No.
so I guess he was one of them geeks.
Yeah, if he was a jockey to have his own date, he'd have
He was
been.
fun though.
He was right. He'd had a better time staying at home with his video game in the end.
Well, he wouldn't be dead. There's that.
Well, yeah, that's a big plus. Well, as far as humans are concerned, anyway, the, they don't like being dead. But, so, you guys spend the rest of the time before sunrise just sort of hanging out on the couch, uh, being drunk, basically. Yeah. You,
Man, I hope I'm right in my assumption though. I hope us Kindred don't get hung over.
well, I don't normally do this, so I don't know, and we're about to find out.
Yeah, I guess so.
With that, she gets up and goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna turn in for the day.
Yeah, I think I better do that too.
I I can see a crack of sunlight over there. That's not a good thing."
Oh, yeah, I better go to bed.
Yeah,
Got those nice blackout curtains and all.
yeah, but well, she, she gives you a hug and is like, we'll see how we feel tonight when we wake up.
Yeah, I guess we will.
And the two of you, I assume you have separate rooms.
Yeah.
So the two of you head off to your bedrooms and crash for the day. Um, Evening comes. Do you guys have an alarm clock, or do you just wake up whenever?
I
Your
just wake up whenever.
since your show's on YouTube, you don't really have a major schedule.
Right.
Cause what, you only do a video once or twice a week, right?
Twice a week. I do it on
Yeah.
Saturdays and Tuesdays.
Yeah. Gotta keep up that Twitch schedule twice a week. uh, so you wake up and you literally wish you hadn't. Your head is like, let me put it this way. When you were a drunk human, your head didn't hurt this much.
Oh well, damn. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you look up and see Marcie standing in the hallway in front of your bedroom door. You're like, nope, shouldn't have done that.
well, I guess now we know about
Yeah,
whether vampires get hungover or not.
yeah. Which means I wouldn't advise you to try any other drugs either, because you probably don't want that either.
Oh, I wouldn't anyway. I was never into all that.
Well, I'm just thinking, be careful who you're dining on, shall we
Oh,
say.
yeah.
It's like, damn it, it's getting to where you gotta have before you bite somebody, you gotta have a medical history report.
Well, like you said, we knew what we were doing last night, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
Damn it, does this mean we're going to have to introduce ourselves as newcomers to the next meeting we go to?
nobody knew that we did last night except us.
Well, yeah, that's true, but be kind of lying if we continue to say we had 20 years of sobriety under our belts,
And
wouldn't it?
and also technically we weren't drinking
Ah, just like a lawyer, aren't you? Finding those loopholes.
because even if they'd all been sober, everything else would have ended up the same way. We didn't go in there going, we're going to have 9 beers so we get crushed. We went in there looking for a meal and they just happened to be drunk.
Well, yeah, that's why they were so easy to take.
Yeah. Which is why a lot of drunks end up having that problem. I wouldn't walk into an AA meeting right now if I were you.
Oh, go, no. No, they'd know. Everyone
Yeah,
would know.
yeah. So, my theory is wander into the kitchen, have a mug of blood to wake up, and we'll go from there.
One thing I regret is can't take any aspirin.
Wouldn't do anything anyway. You'd have to take too much of it to bother with. Geez, like, just drink your mug of blood. You'd be surprised how fast we get over things like this.
Well, that's good at least. It won't last that long.
If you drink a couple blood, you should be good in an hour or two.
Sounds good to me.
Do you have a recipe to do tonight?
No, tonight's Monday. I've got my show tomorrow night.
You got everything you need for that?
Oh, I've got, let's see, I was gonna make meatloaf. So, yeah, I've got the ground beef in the fridge already. Or in the
You,
freezer, rather.
you got all the other ingredients?
Actually, I think I need to go get some more onions. Think
Well,
think I used all of them for the liver and onions. So I need to go get some more of those.
I think I'll head to the store with you. Bound to be some interesting chatter going on after last night.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, especially since that was all, in the stuffed shirt part of town.
Yeah, basically.
So, yeah, people here are definitely going to be talking about all that.
So, you guys have your mug of blood. You check your ingredient cabinet to make sure that onions are, you don't need anything else. And after about an hour or so, you do, in fact, start feeling better. Vampires heal quickly.
Well, that's a relief at least.
Um, and then the two of you, are you just going to walk around the neighborhood, or are you going to take one of the vehicles, or what are you going to do?
Oh, it's close enough we can walk.
Okay. The two of you step out of your apartment and lock your door, or your house and lock your door. And you step out into the street. And I guess neither one of you had really bothered to check the weather because uh, it's pea soup fog, which Louisville gets occasionally off the river, but not very often. Yeah, you guys have better vision than humans, but it's still a surprise for the two of you to walk out and you're suddenly blanketed in thick gray fog and it's drizzling and stuff. Like,
Well, that's kind of strange.
yeah, and it's weird weather. And is it normal? And, but you make your way to the corner market and, you know, everybody that works there knows you because they're all subscribed to your show. And the black haired girl behind the counter is like, loved your last episode. What are you making this week?
I was gonna go meatloaf this week.
Nah, can't miss with a good meatloaf. And then she notices Marcie standing there. And Marcie doesn't come with you very often because Marcie's basically your production and tech person. Yeah, she doesn't actually get into the whole recipe thing. So the girl kind of looks at Marcie rather oddly. Like, who is that? Uh, and she says hello, and Marcie waves, and yeah, uh, the two of you head off to get onions and whatever else you decided you wanted. Doesn't take very long, and you're back up to the counter. Uh, you guys see that weather outside?
Yeah, that's pretty weird. I don't even remember them mentioning that on the news. It's
Yeah.
don't know what all that's about.
Hmm. Weather's getting weirder by the day these days.
So, hey, speaking of weird, I was just wondering because we had a little trouble with a break-in vandal the other night, and just wondering if you'd heard anyone else say anything about that or had any trouble yourself with that sort of thing.
I will have her roll and find out. She says, actually, I have heard a couple of our other customers say something about having their places broken into.
Really?
Yeah.
Are these
J-
regular customers of yours? Or?
yeah. In fact, she points over to three people over in um, the egg and butter section, the refrigerated section. It was them that told me.
Oh, well, I might want to go. Well, I'll finish up our transaction here. Then I think I'm going to go over and talk to them about it, see if it sounds like the same sort of thing.
And they were saying it happened just last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh, ours was the night before last.
Yeah. Yours has been a few days now. The cleanup crew's
Hmm.
already been through. But these are humans.
That's what I was going to check when I went over to talk to them.
Yeah. So you finish up your transaction, and you and Marcie, you know, the girl that does your transaction chats with Marcie a little bit because they don't know each other, and they're like, she's like, "Who are you, and where do you come from, and yeah, what are you doing here?" Standard get to know you sort of thing.
Mhm.
And you walk over to the three people standing in the refrigerated section. They're obviously they're chatting because if they if people looking for eggs and butter don't just sort of stand there. Yeah. You you walk up on the three of them, they turn around and see you, and they automatically recognize you from your YouTube show. And they're like, didn't know you came here.
Oh, yeah, this is mostly where I do my shopping.
Like, figured you had enough money, you'd be shopping at the chain grocery stores.
Oh, well, this is where the good stuff is here.
um, there's two guys and a girl, and the girl's like, love your show.
Oh, well, thank you. You ever tried any of my recipes for yourself?
Um, um, not a bit. Didn't try last week's. Not a big liver and onions fan, but
Yeah, not everybody is. It's an acquired taste.
I've tried a few here and there. They seem to turned out pretty well. Uh, so I thought I heard you mention something about meatloaf.
Yeah, I'm gonna do meatloaf tomorrow.
Oh, have to watch that one. I need to improve my meatloaf recipe. Um, so how do you bring up the subject of what you went over to talk to them about?
Well, we'll just tell them right out that I was asking the cashier about, if anyone's mentioned anything about break-ins and vandalism, because I experienced that a couple nights ago in my own house. So she mentioned that you lot here said something about that happening to you just last night.
Yeah,
So did what sort of thing? I mean, did someone break into your house and did they steal anything or what was going on there?
they broke in through the upstairs bedroom window uh, stuff was sort of scattered everywhere. It,
Well, that sounds exactly like what happened in my place.
do,
Um,
it doesn't seem that anything was stolen. It just seems like they wanted to cause trouble.
yeah, it sounds exactly like it. Well, now, there's another question for you. Was there anything, did they deface your walls? Did they write anything on your wall?
No,
No? Oh, well, I'm just lucky, I guess.
why did they spray paint one of your walls or what?
Yeah. Some
Hmm.
threatening message about we don't want you here. You know, I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, that's weird. You're a YouTube chef. You don't hurt anybody.
Exactly. I don't know what they were, what their problem was, but sounds like it was possibly the same person or people, though.
Yeah. And one of the guys is like, worst thing you could do is give somebody food poisoning from a recipe. That's not,
Well, I hope I've never done that.
it's not worth something like you were describing there.
Well, I know we've got someone looking into it and all, and I'm assuming you guys called the police, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, we called the police right after we found out that it happened last night. They were a bit busy last night, though. It took them quite a while to get there.
Oh, yeah, I heard about what happened uptown a little.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect something like that in that neighborhood.
You sure wouldn't, would you?
Mm, mm. See what happens when you drink too much and you're not watching your surroundings.
Oh, well, I don't know how accurate these rumors I've heard are. I mean, it sounds pretty far fetched and all, but people have been, kind of worried about werewolves running around.
Yeah, I heard that. Another conspiracy as far as I'm. But then, but the woman pipes in and goes, "Yeah, but if if it wasn't that and it was actual humans who did it, I don't want to come up on the humans that did that."
Well, there's that.
So,
I didn't, see anything myself, but I've heard things.
yeah, it was
It sounds like it was pretty grisly.
pretty rough. Yeah. Mm, three of them.
Yeah, two guys and a girl, from what I heard.
People should really do a better job uh, staying sober.
Well, I'll second that.
You get drunk and stuff like that happens. So,
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. Werewolf attacks aren't something I'd ever expect to happen, whether you're sober or not. But,
Uh, if you're gonna get attacked by a werewolf, drunk is better. At
well,
least
yeah.
we, at least you won't notice,
Yeah, it won't
or
hurt as bad, that's for sure.
for very long. So, yeah, they're Cops all over the neighborhood uh, late night, early morning. Guess they got done with whatever happened up there, and then they came down here. Didn't tell us much.
Well, cops like to ask questions, not answer them.
They basically have no idea what happened. Apparently, they're good at having no idea what happened. They didn't have an idea what happened earlier in the evening either. So we'll just have to wait and see what they find, if anything.
Yeah.
I'd keep on watch if I were you, because you apparently weren't the only one.
Yeah, maybe I'll run into some others too and see if it sounds like the same people doing it.
Yeah. We'll we'll keep watch out too, and we'll let you know if we come across anything, or we'll let you know, especially if the police ever come up with anything.
Yeah, that would be nice to know for sure.
Yeah. And about then, Marcie walks up. The cute kid behind the register over there. You about done here?
Yeah, I'm ready to go if you are.
The three of them are like, nice to talk to you.
Well, you too. Make sure you watch my show tomorrow.
We're all subscribed, so we get notifications when your uh, episodes pop up.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
So, we'll probably see you around.
Yeah, if you shop here, you'll definitely see me around from time to time.
Yep. So, and you and Marcie walk back past the girl at the counter, and she waves, and Marcie waves back, and you guys head out the door back into the fog.
And should we leave it here since it's almost midnight?
And it's getting close. And you guys head back to your apartment with your onions, and um, you gotta set up for doing your show. So what we'll do is we'll leave you there. Marcie's getting the tech stuff together, and you're getting all the ingredients for your meatloaf together, and then we'll pick up next time with you doing your meatloaf episode and see how that goes. So so we'll leave it there, and I hope that the people who see this later on YouTube enjoy it. 'Cause it was rather fun to do that. And little do they know how much problem they caused from their little hunting trip. Uh, but that's for later. Uh,
Oh shit, we started a werewolf vampire war.
not quite.
That would be bad.
Or shall I say, not quite yet. So I hope I hope everybody that sees this gives it a like, a subscribe, yeah. Or if you're more the podcast type, it'll be up on podcast in a couple days. Um, you can even donate to our podcast. There's a donate button on our profile page, so you can, if you really love our podcast, you can give us money. So go for it. uh, and buy all of Robin's books. The links are in the description. Join the Discord. The link for that's in the description. Uh, and leave us comments on YouTube. We'll answer those. We'll pretty much talk to you just about in any format you want to. Uh, Short of Instagram. Because we're even on Facebook and Twitter too. So I just didn't want to deal with Instagram. So, um, so yeah. Get to know the really crazy stuff that goes on in my head. Or not. You might not be brave enough for that. uh, so, and with that, we'll
And
say,
look out for our Halloween Cthulhu episode.
oh,
Should be coming out. This looks like the 28th is the Saturday before Halloween.
okay, that'll work. I didn't, I didn't exactly know what the date for that Saturday was.
Yeah, it's the 28th.
So we'll end up having Fallen Dragons next week, and then the week after will be Cthulhu,
Cthulhu, yeah.
which means I've only got 2 weeks to get that done. Yay. But it all comes to me in a dream anyway, so it works.
And you can watch me die in a horrible way like I have with the last two Cthulhu games. So, yay.
Your characters, Winter and all your Cthulhu characters, just, yeah. You tell me to do horrible things to your characters, and I do them, and
I don't I don't
and
tell you
your
to do
character
horrible things.
and your characters die when I do them.
All I do is give you background on my characters. I don't tell you to do horrible things. You do that on your own. I just give you fuel for it.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. uh, Speaking of Halloween, um, how's your latest book coming? Is it go?
I actually it should be ready for purchase in the next couple of days. It's going to be a little shorter than my last ones because I decided that I'm just going to publish it with as many stories as it currently has because I want to work on a novel.
Oh god.
I actually have a your this sounds stupid. I have a zombie apocalypse novel I'm working on.
You have a what?
A zombie apocalypse novel that I'm working on.
Okay.
So
Those zombies have to get novels too, I guess.
yeah.
It's a romance novel between two zombies that goes terribly wrong or what?
No, just your typical survivor, trying survivor group of survivors trying to survive in the zombie apocalypse.
I keep trying to tell you, people have enough organic gummy bears. You can fight off zombies forever. Because eventually they eat too many of them and their mouth gets stuck closed and it just doesn't go well from there. uh, but on that interesting note, we'll say goodnight.
See you next time.
See you next week for Fallen Dragons.